Most people go through their days without realizing that the words coming out of their mouths are shaping the very fabric of their lives. They think they're just describing what they see, what they feel, or what they lack, but in reality, every statement is an instruction to their subconscious mind and to the universe around them. When someone wakes up and says, "I am so tired," they are not simply describing fatigue, they are declaring it, programming their body to remain in that state. When they sigh and say, "I am broke," they are not just sharing a financial update, they are reinforcing a state of lack, making it more real in their nervous system and energy field. The most dangerous part of this is that it happens on autopilot. Most people don't pause to think about what they are planting into their own reality with the words they habitually repeat. The phrase "I am" is far more powerful than people realize. It is not casual language. It is creation language. Every time you say "I am," you are announcing to yourself and to the quantum field who you are in this moment and what you are choosing to embody. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a joke, a complaint, or a truth you actually want to experience. It simply takes what you repeat most often and treats it as a command. If you continually say, "I am unlucky in love," your subconscious begins filtering your reality through that lens. You unconsciously sabotage opportunities for connection, you attract people who confirm that belief, and you fail to notice genuine love, because your internal program says it cannot exist for you. This is why so many people feel stuck, circling the same patterns over and over again. They are hypnotized by their own words. The mind works like fertile soil. Whatever you plant into it will grow, whether it's roses or weeds. The words following "I am" are the seeds. Some people spend their whole lives planting weeds without realizing they had the choice to plant flowers. They say "I am stressed," "I am unlucky," "I am not good enough," and their inner garden overflows with thorns. Their external life mirrors that inner landscape. Every time they complain, every time they use "I am" as a weapon against themselves, they water those weeds and make them stronger. And because their external world is a mirror of their internal state, their reality reflects back proof of their negative declarations. They see the lack, the exhaustion, the heartbreak, and it convinces them they were right all along. What they don't realize is they created that evidence with their words in the first place. To understand the power of "I am," you need to realize that language is not neutral. Language is vibrational. Every word carries frequency. When you say "I am confident," you are not only speaking positivity, you are embodying a higher vibration. Your nervous system picks up the signal. Your body shifts to match it, and the field around you begins aligning to deliver circumstances that match that declaration. The same is true when you say the opposite. Words of lack lower your frequency and pull you into the reality that matches them. This is why ancient teachings, spiritual texts, and modern psychology all emphasize the importance of guarding your tongue. Words are not sounds, they are spells. They create structures of energy that your life begins to conform to. Think of a person who constantly says, "I am tired." Their posture reflects it. Their breathing becomes shallow. Their energy drains faster because their body believes the command. Another person facing the same schedule and the same challenges might instead say, "I am energized, I am ready." Their physiology shifts differently. They breathe deeper, stand taller, and find reserves of energy the other person cannot access. The external circumstances didn't change, only the internal declaration did. That difference is everything. The first person lives in exhaustion, the second lives in possibility. The words following "I am" are the dividing line between the two realities. It's easy to dismiss this as mere positive thinking, but it goes deeper than that. Neuroscience shows that repetition builds neural pathways. The more you say something, the more your brain wires itself to see it, expect it, and experience it. Say "I am confident" long enough, and your brain begins to generate the chemicals, the postures, and the micro-behaviors that match confidence. Say "I am unlucky" long enough, and your brain filters out opportunities and focuses only on problems. This isn't magic, it's mechanics. You are teaching your brain who you are, and your brain obeys. But beyond neuroscience, there's also the quantum field, the energetic layer of reality that responds to your vibration. Every time you speak, especially the words after I am, you're tuning your frequency like a radio dial. Say, I am abundant, and you're tuning into the frequency of abundance. Say, I am always struggling, and you're tuning into the frequency of struggle. The field responds not to your wishes, but to your state of being. I am defines that state. This is why when people shift their self-talk, their whole reality can transform seemingly overnight. They are not just changing their attitude, they are changing their energetic broadcast. Children often grow up absorbing the I am statements of the adults around them. A parent says, I am always stressed, and the child internalizes stress as normal. A teacher says, you are lazy, and the child repeats it until it becomes their identity. Many of the I am statements running people's lives today aren't even their own. They're borrowed programs, inherited voices, unconscious scripts. But the moment you become aware, you reclaim the power to choose. You can interrupt the old statements and replace them with new ones. Instead of saying, I am bad with money, you can begin to say, I am learning to manage money wisely. Instead of saying, I am unworthy, you can shift to, I am enough as I am. With repetition, your subconscious rewires and the field begins to align with your new declarations. Every I am statement is a brushstroke, painting the portrait of your life. Too many people give away that brush without realizing it. They hand it over to fear, to old programming, to casual negativity, and then wonder why their picture looks so dark. But those who wake up to this truth begin painting deliberately. They use their I am to sculpt a reality they actually want to live in. It's not about lying to yourself. It's about deciding which version of yourself you want to call forth. You may not feel confident yet, but by declaring I am confident, you are summoning the version of yourself that is. You may not feel abundant yet, but by declaring I am abundant, you are aligning with the version of reality where abundance already exists. The most powerful truth about I am is that it places you in the role of creator rather than victim. Victims describe what is. Creators declare what will be. Victims say I am stuck. Creators say I am moving forward. Victims reinforce their chains. Creators rewrite their story. The difference lies not in circumstances but in the words that shape identity. Every morning when you wake up, your first thoughts and words set the tone for your day. If your first declaration is I am exhausted, the day bends to that script. If your first declaration is I am grateful, I am powerful, I am ready, the day bends to that script. Instead, the universe listens, your body listens, your subconscious listens, and they all take orders from the words that follow. I am. When you say, I am tired, your body does not question you. It obeys. The cells in your body, the chemistry in your brain, the rhythm of your energy, all begin to align with the instruction you've just given. It isn't a casual statement. It's a direct order to your subconscious. And the subconscious, unlike the conscious mind, doesn't analyze, debate, or argue. It simply receives and executes. Every I am you speak becomes a seed planted in the soil of your mind. And like any seed, it will grow into something tangible that shapes your experience. When you say I am broke, you reinforce an identity of lack. You train your subconscious to filter reality through the lens of scarcity. Suddenly, even if opportunities for abundance are right in front of you, your nervous system will not register them, because the programming you've given it has already told the system, we are broke. That is who we are. The subconscious mind is like fertile ground, and language is the water and sunlight that nourish whatever is planted. What makes this more powerful is that the subconscious doesn't just run in the background silently. It actively determines what you see, hear, and feel in the world around you. It works through confirmation bias, meaning it constantly looks for evidence to support the identity you have spoken into existence. If you say, I am unlucky in love, you will find yourself noticing failed relationships, betrayals, or loneliness around you. Even when someone genuinely kind and aligned enters your life, your subconscious will dismiss them, sabotage the connection, or fail to recognize them as potential love. because your inner programming insists that unlucky in love is the true story. The most transformative thing you can realize is that this process works both ways. Just as negative I am statements program you for lack, limitation, and struggle, positive, intentional I am statements can reprogram you for abundance, peace, and power. When you say, I am worthy, I am powerful, I am aligned with opportunity, you send a different signal, not only to your subconscious mind but also to the quantum field that surrounds you. The subconscious begins searching for evidence to confirm worthiness, to prove power, to reveal opportunity. And because the subconscious filters perception, you suddenly start noticing doors that were invisible to you before. It's not that the doors weren't there, it's that your programming didn't allow you to see them. Think about how many times you've spoken carelessly about yourself without realizing the impact. I am not good enough. I am always late. I am terrible with money. Each one of these is not just a reflection of how you feel in a moment. It is a command that strengthens a neural pathway, a pattern in your brain that your body and mind will faithfully repeat. Over time, these statements form your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. Your subconscious does not differentiate between a joke, a complaint, or a serious declaration. It accepts every I am as truth, and then orchestrates your behavior and perception to make it so. When you begin to flip the script, everything changes. Instead of saying I am tired, you might start saying I am full of energy and renewal. At first it feels false, even silly. The conscious mind may argue, that's not true. You're exhausted. But remember, the subconscious doesn't care if something is currently true. It cares about what you consistently feed it. Repetition reprograms. Speak a new identity long enough, and the subconscious will begin to believe it. And when the subconscious believes it, the nervous system aligns with it, and the external world begins to shift to reflect it. This is why affirmations, when used correctly, are not just empty words. They are powerful instruments for transformation. But the key is not to recite them mechanically. The key is to attach feeling and intention to the words. When you declare I am abundant, feel what abundance would feel like in your body. When you say I am confident, embody the posture, the tone, the presence of confidence. The subconscious responds to emotion and repetition more than logic. If you infuse your declarations with feeling, you accelerate the reprogramming process. Another critical piece is awareness. Most people are not even aware of the I am statements they casually repeat all day. They are hypnotizing themselves into mediocrity, or struggle without realizing it. Awareness is the first step to change. Begin to observe your language. Notice how many times you declare things about yourself and your life that are not serving you. Each time you catch yourself saying, I am tired, I am stressed, I am broke, pause and consciously choose a replacement that empowers you. It doesn't have to be the opposite extreme. If I am wealthy feels too far away when you are struggling financially, you can choose, I am open to wealth, or I am aligning with financial freedom. These bridge statements allow the subconscious to accept the new programming without resistance. The more consistently you practice this, the more your inner world shifts. Your subconscious begins to expect new outcomes. Your nervous system begins to settle into states of safety and possibility instead of stress and limitation. Your external reality begins to mirror the new identity you have chosen. This is not magical thinking. It is the science of conditioning, neuroplasticity, and perception. The language you speak to yourself becomes the blueprint your subconscious uses to build your life. Every culture, every tradition, every spiritual teaching has emphasized the power of the spoken word. In scripture it is said, "In the beginning was the Word." Ancient mystics taught that sound creates reality. Today, neuroscience and quantum physics echo these truths in different language. The words you speak, especially the ones that define your identity, are vibrational frequencies. They ripple through your nervous system and the quantum field simultaneously. They call forth experiences that match their resonance. This is why careless speech is so costly, and intentional speech is so transformative. Most people live as if words are just sounds, forgetting that words are spells. They either curse themselves or bless themselves every day with the phrases they repeat. And the most powerful spell of all begins with 2 words: I am. Whatever follows those 2 words is not just a description. It is a decree. Your subconscious hears it, the universe hears it, and your future is shaped by it. Your nervous system is like the hidden operating system of your entire reality, quietly running in the background and deciding what you notice, how you react, and what you believe is possible. Think of it as an antenna that is always scanning, always tuning in to signals from the world around you. The truth is, the signals are infinite. At any given moment, countless possibilities exist, countless opportunities float in the field of reality, but you only pick up the ones that match the frequency you're tuned into. This is why 2 people can walk into the same room, face the same circumstances, yet perceive 2 entirely different worlds. One sees obstacles, the other sees opportunities. One notices reasons to give up, while the other notices reasons to keep going. The difference is not the environment, but the nervous system that's filtering it. When your nervous system is in survival mode, your antenna is locked onto frequencies of danger, lack, and scarcity. It's an ancient program designed to keep you alive, but it also blinds you to higher possibilities. You begin to see only what can harm you, only what can go wrong, only what is missing. Your awareness shrinks down to a tunnel, scanning for threats rather than expansion. This is why stress feels so overwhelming. Not only does it speed up your heart and tighten your breath, it also limits your vision of what's possible. When you're in that state, even the best opportunities can pass right by without you noticing, because your antenna isn't tuned to receive them. On the other hand, when your nervous system is regulated, when you breathe deeply and feel safe in your body, your antenna shifts frequencies. Suddenly you can perceive signals of growth, creativity, and opportunity that were invisible before. It's not that they weren't there, it's that you weren't tuned in. Just like a radio, the station exists whether or not you're listening. If you're stuck on the frequency of fear, you'll never hear the music of abundance, even if it's playing all around you. But when you learn to tune your nervous system with awareness, you start to pick up on these higher channels of reality. Science has a way of explaining this too. Your nervous system and brain work together to filter reality through a process called the reticular activating system. This part of your brain decides what's important enough to notice and what to ignore. If your state is wired around lack, your brain highlights proof of lack. If your state is wired around possibility, your brain highlights proof of possibility. This is why 2 people can look at the same situation and walk away with completely different stories. Your nervous system literally edits your perception of the world to match your state. It's not the world that changes first, it's you. This is where language becomes critical. The words you speak send instructions to your nervous system. When you say I am exhausted, you're giving your body the signal to conserve energy, to shut down, to prepare for depletion. Your antenna adjusts accordingly, filtering out vitality and amplifying fatigue. But if you say I am energized, I am resilient, you send an entirely different command. Even if it doesn't feel fully true at first, your nervous system begins to search for proof, begins to tune to signals that align with what you just declared. This is why affirmations, when practiced in a regulated state, are so powerful. They are not just empty words. They are programming commands that shift the frequency of your antenna. It's also why meditation, deep breathing, and stillness are more than just relaxation techniques. They're tuning practices. Every deep breath calms the nervous system, reminding the body that it is safe. Every moment of mindfulness loosens the grip of survival mode. In that calm state, when the antenna is wide open and sensitive, your declarations of I am carry more weight. The body is receptive, the mind is quiet, and the signal you send out into the quantum field is coherent. You're not just saying words anymore. You're embodying a new frequency, and your nervous system broadcasts it into reality. Consider how this shows up in everyday life. A person who constantly says, I am unlucky, has a nervous system tuned to notice every misstep, every inconvenience, every small failure. They could have 100 neutral experiences in a day, but the one setback becomes the highlighted proof their antenna delivers back to them. Another person who declares, I am blessed, trains their nervous system to pick up moments of grace. They'll notice the smile from a stranger, the unexpected kindness, the small victories. The difference isn't luck, it's tuning. The nervous system brings back the evidence of whatever state it's programmed to receive. Think about athletes at the highest level. Before they step onto the field, they regulate their breath, focus their mind, and declare who they are. I am strong. I am unstoppable. I am ready. They are not just hyping themselves up. They are tuning their nervous system to a frequency that allows their body to perform at its highest potential. That same principle applies to your everyday reality. If you tune your antenna with intention, your perception sharpens, your actions align, and your results follow. The challenge is that most people live unconsciously tuned to survival frequencies. They wake up, grab their phone, get flooded with stress signals, and their nervous system locks into fight or flight before the day even begins. In that state, their words become negative commands, their perception becomes narrow, and their reality reflects limitation. But this doesn't have to be your default. You can learn to regulate, to consciously breathe, to set your state before you speak. Once you do, you'll notice a subtle but powerful shift. The world looks different because you are different. Your nervous system is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. It was designed to keep you alive, but it can also be trained to help you thrive. The same mechanism that once scanned for lions in the grass can now scan for opportunities in your environment. The same antenna that once locked onto threats can now lock onto abundance, creativity, and love. It's all about tuning, and the way you tune it is through your state, your breath, your awareness, and most importantly, your words. When you begin to see your nervous system this way, as an antenna rather than just a bundle of nerves, you realize how much power you actually have. You're not stuck with a fixed perception of reality. You're not condemned to repeat old patterns. You can tune differently. You can declare differently. And as you do, you'll discover that the reality you once thought was fixed begins to move, begins to shift, begins to mirror the frequency of the state you've chosen to live in. The breath is the most powerful yet most overlooked gateway into nervous system regulation. It is with you from the moment you are born until the moment you leave this world, yet most people breathe unconsciously, shallowly, and out of rhythm with their body's natural design. What science and ancient wisdom both reveal is that the way you breathe directly influences your nervous system, your mental state, and even your ability to manifest the life you want. A stressed nervous system often shows up in your breath first, rapid, shallow, held high in the chest. This signals to your brain that you are in danger, that you need to prepare for fight or flight. The trouble is, most people live in this state without realizing it. Day after day, they send signals of danger to their nervous system just by how they breathe, and in doing so, they reinforce stress, fear, and lack in their lives. When you begin to consciously work with your breath, you access a tool that can change everything. Slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing is like telling your body and your brain, I am safe, I can relax, I can create. It's not just relaxation, it's regulation. Your vagus nerve, the great communicator between your body and your brain, responds directly to your breath. When you extend your exhale, when you allow yourself to pause and soften in your breathing, your vagus nerve activates your parasympathetic system, the rest and repair mode. This is where healing, intuition, and creation live. This is where your body feels safe enough to imagine new realities. This is where manifestation becomes possible. Consider how you feel after a few deep, intentional breaths. Your heart rate begins to slow. Your shoulders unclench. The racing thoughts in your mind begin to ease, and suddenly you feel a little more grounded, a little more present. That shift may feel small, but it is monumental, because in that moment, you have changed your internal frequency. You have moved yourself from chaos to coherence, from survival to creation, and when your inner world shifts like that, your outer world cannot help but respond. Many traditions understood this long before modern science confirmed it. Ancient yogis, for example, developed pranayama, specific breath techniques designed to regulate energy, calm the mind, and expand awareness. Shamans across cultures use rhythmic breathing in ceremonies to induce altered states where healing and vision occur. Even in Christian and Jewish texts, breath is equated with spirit, with life force itself. Breath was never just about oxygen. It was always about power, connection, and creation. Science now shows that breath influences heart rate variability, brainwave patterns, and hormone release. Simply put, how you breathe can change how you think, how you feel, and what you attract. One of the simplest yet most profound practices is coherence breathing. This involves inhaling slowly for a count of about 5 or 6, then exhaling for the same count, keeping the breath smooth and steady. Within minutes of practicing this, your nervous system begins to synchronize, your heart and brain come into alignment, and you experience coherence. In this state, your mind becomes clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your body more resilient. Imagine beginning your day with 10 minutes of coherence breathing. Instead of waking up and diving straight into stress, you would start from a place of grounded awareness. That starting point changes how you move through the day. Instead of reacting, you respond. Instead of collapsing into old patterns, you consciously create new ones. Breath also serves as a bridge between conscious and unconscious patterns. When you pay attention to your breath, you become more aware of how your body holds stress. Perhaps you notice you hold your breath when you are anxious, or you sigh often without realizing it. These are not random. They are messages from your nervous system, telling you how you are processing life. By working with the breath, you begin to reprogram not just your physiology but also the subconscious beliefs that keep you stuck. When you breathe with awareness, you begin to notice where fear lives in your body, where doubt contracts your energy, where old stories tighten your chest. And through steady, intentional breathing, you teach your body a new story, that you are safe, that you can expand, that you can trust. There is also a mystical dimension to breathing. When your breath deepens, when your mind becomes still through rhythm, you access states of consciousness where new possibilities emerge. The boundaries of the thinking mind soften, and the field of infinite potential becomes more accessible. This is why many people report profound insights, visions, or a sense of unity during breathwork practices. Breath takes you beyond the ordinary. It dissolves the noise of survival and attunes you to a frequency where manifestation is not just theory but experience. Imagine yourself sitting in a quiet space, closing your eyes, and beginning to breathe deeply, slowly, evenly. At first your mind might resist, thoughts might race, to-do lists might surface, but as you continue, your body begins to yield, your chest loosens, your belly rises and falls with ease. With every exhale, it feels as though layers of tension are melting away. You realize that your mind is not as loud anymore, that beneath the noise there is a deep calm waiting for you. In that calm, you feel a sense of expansion, as if the boundaries of your body blur, and you are more connected to everything around you. In that state, you are not forcing anything to happen. You are not trying to control outcomes. You are simply being, breathing, allowing. And from that state, intention arises effortlessly. You might feel clarity about a decision, inspiration for a project, or simply gratitude for being alive. That is the power of breath. It clears the clutter so the truth can surface. Breathing also teaches patience and surrender, two qualities essential to manifestation. You cannot rush a breath. You cannot inhale the next breath before you finish the current one. In the same way, you cannot force life to unfold before its time. Breath teaches you rhythm, flow, and timing. It shows you that every inhale must be followed by an exhale, every expansion balanced by release. Many people struggle with letting go of relationships, of control, of fear. But exhaling is a daily reminder that letting go is natural, necessary, and life-giving. When you master this rhythm in your breath, you begin to master it in your life. You trust the cycles of creation, the balance of holding and releasing, the wisdom of surrender. The nervous system is like a river, and the breath is the current that directs its flow. If the current is choppy and shallow, the river becomes chaotic. But when the current is smooth and deep, the river flows with grace and power. In the same way, when your breath is erratic, your nervous system mirrors that state, leaving you feeling anxious and scattered. But when your breath is calm and intentional, your entire being aligns with that calm, making you more magnetic to what you desire. People often think manifestation requires great effort, affirmations repeated endlessly, or constant visualization. But in truth, it begins with something much simpler. A body that feels safe enough to imagine, to trust and to expand. Breath is the way you create that safety. Through the practice of conscious breathing, you begin to dissolve the illusion that you are powerless over your state. You realize that within you, right now, is the ability to change how you feel, how you think, and how you vibrate. Every deep breath is an act of reclaiming your power. Every slow exhale is a declaration that you are not ruled by stress, fear, or scarcity. Breath is the anchor that brings you back to the present, the bridge that connects body and spirit, the key that unlocks coherence and manifestation. It is available to you at every moment, free and infinite, waiting only for you to remember its power. Most people live their entire lives without realizing that their body is the instrument through which their reality is constantly being broadcasted. Every thought you have creates a signal. Every emotion you feel amplifies it, and your nervous system is the antenna that sends this frequency into the quantum field. But the problem is, for most of us, that antenna is distorted. It's overloaded with static from stress, tension, unresolved emotions, and constant stimulation. When your nervous system is dysregulated, you are no longer consciously broadcasting your desired reality. You're stuck replaying survival frequencies that keep manifesting more struggle, more fear, and more limitation. The way to step out of this cycle is not through willpower alone, but through regulation, calming, and balancing the nervous system so that your body becomes a clear channel for higher states of energy and thought. This is the hidden connection between your inner biology and the external world you keep experiencing. Think about it. When you're in fight or flight, when your body feels unsafe, your mind collapses into survival patterns. You think smaller, you feel anxious, you can't focus on abundance or love, because your entire being is trapped in a state of protection. In this state, manifestation doesn't work, not because the universe isn't listening, but because your nervous system is drowning out your intention with fear frequencies. Your energy is inconsistent, chaotic, and fragmented. But when you learn to soothe your body, when you can signal to yourself that you are safe, your whole system begins to open. The static clears. Your thoughts start to feel more powerful. Your emotions become more stable. Suddenly, the intentions you send into the field are coherent, strong, and magnetic. Regulation transforms you from someone passively reacting to life into someone actively shaping it. One of the most overlooked aspects of manifestation is that your body has to be able to hold the frequency of what you desire. It's not enough to think positively or repeat affirmations if your nervous system is overwhelmed, tight, and in constant alert. For example, if you desire abundance but your body is used to being in survival, your nervous system will reject opportunities because it feels unsafe in the unknown. You'll sabotage without realizing it because deep down your body equates unfamiliar experiences with danger. Regulation changes this. When your nervous system is balanced, you create the capacity to receive, to expand, and to integrate new realities. You're no longer running away from what you asked for. Instead, you can hold it, embody it, and grow with it. Imagine the difference between two people walking into the same opportunity. One is dysregulated, anxious, thinking, what if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I'm not enough? Their body is tense, their breath is shallow, their energy is scattered. The other is calm, grounded, breathing fully, carrying a sense of trust. Their nervous system is sending a signal of safety, strength, and openness. Which one do you think attracts more positive outcomes? Which one radiates confidence without even speaking? The answer is clear. Regulation is not just about feeling good, it's about shifting the frequency you emit, so that life responds differently to you. This is why ancient spiritual traditions always emphasized practices that calm the body, breathwork, meditation, grounding rituals, chanting. They knew that before you could access higher states of consciousness, you had to quiet the storm within. In today's world, we've forgotten this truth. We chase after manifestation hacks, quick affirmations, or vision boards, but we skip the step of preparing our instrument. It's like trying to play a beautiful symphony on a guitar with broken strings. The music can't flow because the foundation isn't in harmony. Regulation is how you tune yourself, so that when you send out a thought or intention, it vibrates clearly and powerfully in the field. Science supports this as well. When the nervous system is regulated, the brain's hemispheres synchronize, heart rhythms become coherent, and cells operate more efficiently. This creates what researchers call coherence, a measurable state where the body and mind are aligned. In coherence, your thoughts don't feel forced, they flow naturally. Your emotions don't feel chaotic, they feel steady, and your energy becomes magnetic. People around you sense it. Opportunities open because you're no longer radiating resistance. This is the science of why regulation is the missing key. Without it, your manifestation practices are like seeds planted in dry, rocky soil. With it, those same seeds flourish, because the soil, your body, is fertile and supportive. Regulation doesn't mean ignoring emotions or pretending to be calm. It means creating practices that allow your body to process stress, release tension, and return to balance. Something as simple as slow, conscious breathing can reset your nervous system in moments. Grounding techniques like walking barefoot on the earth, placing your hand on your heart, or lengthening your exhale signal safety to your body. Over time, these practices retrain your system to spend more time in rest and recovery rather than fight or flight. And the more regulated you become, the easier it is to align with the quantum field, because your body is no longer fighting against your desires. Think of your nervous system as the bridge between your conscious intentions and the infinite possibilities of the quantum field. If that bridge is shaky, overloaded, or blocked, nothing can cross. But if the bridge is stable, open, and flowing, your desires move freely into reality. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation despite doing the mental work. They're trying to send energy across a broken bridge. Regulation repairs that bridge and makes it strong enough to carry the weight of your vision. Even the energy you feel in everyday interactions is filtered through your nervous system. If you've ever walked into a room and felt tension, or sensed that someone was calm and magnetic, that was your body reading their frequency. Others are doing the same with you. If you're dysregulated, you radiate that energy, and people respond accordingly. But when you're grounded and calm, you radiate safety and strength. People trust you, opportunities flow, and synchronicities align. This is not magic, it's resonance. The universe mirrors back the signal you broadcast, and your nervous system is the transmitter. Many people wonder why they keep attracting the same struggles, relationships, or financial issues. The answer often lies not in their thoughts, but in their nervous system. If your body is conditioned to expect stress, betrayal, or scarcity, it will unconsciously pull you back into those patterns because they feel familiar. Regulation breaks that loop. By calming your body and signaling safety, you teach yourself that it's okay to step into new patterns, new relationships, and new realities. You expand the comfort zone of your nervous system so that abundance, love, and peace feel natural instead of threatening. This is why the work of nervous system regulation is both spiritual and practical. On one hand, it makes you a clearer channel for the quantum field, aligning your inner state with the outer reality you wish to create. On the other, it gives you real, tangible results: better health, stronger focus, improved relationships, and increased resilience. Your body becomes your ally in manifestation instead of your saboteur. Regulation is the foundation upon which everything else rests. Without it, your intentions are scattered. With it, your desires are amplified. When you regulate your nervous system, you reclaim control over your state of being. Instead of reacting to life, you respond from a place of clarity. Instead of chasing outcomes with desperation, you attract them with ease. Instead of being a victim of old programming, you become the conscious author of your reality. This is the hidden power that so many overlook. It's not about forcing the universe to bend to your will. It's about tuning yourself so that the universe naturally responds to your signal. And the clearer, calmer, and more regulated your nervous system becomes, the stronger your ability to manifest with precision and consistency. When you reach the point of integrating nervous system regulation with quantum manifestation, something extraordinary begins to unfold within you. By now you have already begun to see how the body, the mind, and the field of infinite possibility are not separate but deeply intertwined. In this stage, the work is about unifying everything you've learned into a living practice, something that is not just understood intellectually, but embodied daily, moment by moment. This is where regulation stops being a technique and becomes a state of being, and where manifestation stops being something you do and becomes something you are. To integrate nervous system regulation, you must begin to observe yourself in the flow of life. Notice when your body tenses, when your breath shortens, when your thoughts spiral into old patterns of fear or scarcity. These are the moments where regulation becomes the bridge back to possibility. Instead of reacting from that contracted place, you pause, you breathe deeply into your belly, you ground yourself in the present, you remind your body that it is safe, that it no longer needs to brace for impact. As you soften into that safety, your nervous system shifts, and from that shift your mind clears, and suddenly you are aligned again with the quantum field of infinite creation. Integration is about practice in real life. It's not enough to meditate for 10 minutes in the morning, and then spend the rest of the day in a storm of stress. The work is to carry the calm into your conversations, into your decisions, into your relationship with money, health, and purpose. Imagine you're facing a difficult situation, maybe a financial challenge or a conflict with a loved one. Instead of spiraling into panic, you regulate, you feel your feet on the ground, you bring your awareness to your breath, you remind yourself that your state is creating your reality, and so you choose coherence. From that coherence, you speak, you act, you decide. That single shift in state changes the outcome, not just internally but externally as well, because the quantum field mirrors back to you the frequency you are holding. This is the secret of integration. Life will constantly test you, but the tests are not punishments. They are opportunities to stabilize your frequency. Each challenge is a mirror asking, can you stay regulated? Can you stay aligned? When you pass that test, your nervous system learns safety in new circumstances, and your energy field strengthens. This is how integration builds resilience. You become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you have mastered how to remain aligned no matter what. The quantum field responds not to your wishes alone, but to your embodied frequency. That is why regulation is inseparable from manifestation. If you visualize abundance but live in a state of stress, the signal you send into the field is not abundance, but fear. If you affirm love but your body is locked in the chemistry of past heartbreak, the field receives confusion. Integration means aligning your nervous system, your thoughts, your emotions, and your vision into one coherent broadcast. This is the language the universe understands. When you begin to live this way, you'll notice synchronicities multiplying around you. The phone call arrives at the right time. The opportunity opens in a way you could not have forced. The relationship you've been longing for begins to appear in unexpected ways. This is not coincidence. It is coherence. The field is responding to the signal of a regulated, aligned being. You are no longer trying to force reality into place. You are becoming the magnet that reality organizes around. The integration also involves forgiveness of the old self. For years, perhaps decades, your nervous system has been conditioned by trauma, fear, and limitation. You cannot shame yourself for the ways you've reacted in the past. Integration means holding compassion for the version of you who only knew survival, who only knew tension, who only knew scarcity. You thank that version for protecting you, and you let them rest now. You step into a new identity, one that lives not from reaction but from conscious creation. And with this identity shift comes responsibility. Once you understand that your frequency is shaping your reality, you can no longer pretend to be a victim of circumstances. You see clearly that every moment is a choice point: regulate or react, align or contract, create or repeat. This responsibility may feel heavy at first, but with practice it becomes liberating. You no longer wait for life to change. You realize life is changing because you are changing, because you are integrating. It's important to remember that integration is not about perfection. You will still have moments of stress, fear, or doubt. But the difference now is that you don't stay there. You notice quickly, you regulate, you realign. This ability to shift in real time is what makes integration powerful. Over time, those old states of contraction lose their grip on you. Regulation becomes your baseline, coherence becomes natural, and manifestation becomes effortless. One of the most powerful ways to anchor integration is through ritual. For example, you might begin your day with breathwork that calms your nervous system, followed by visualization of the life you are manifesting. Throughout the day, you return to your breath whenever you feel triggered. In the evening, you reflect on how you stayed regulated and where you lost alignment, not with judgment, but with curiosity. These rituals train your body and mind to live in coherence, and the repetition imprints this new state deeply into your being. As integration deepens, you may also notice your environment shifting. Toxic relationships begin to fade. Opportunities aligned with your purpose emerge. Your health improves because your body is no longer marinating in stress hormones. Even your sense of time changes. You feel less rushed, more present, as if you are moving with life instead of against it. These are the signs that integration is working, that you are no longer split between survival and creation, but living as one whole, aligned being. Ultimately, integration is about remembering who you truly are, not a victim of nervous system patterns, not a prisoner of circumstance, but a conscious creator connected to infinite possibility. Every breath you take in regulation, every thought you align with coherence, every action you take from that place is a declaration to the quantum field. This is who I am, and this is the reality I choose to live. And the field, faithful as always, responds in kind, shaping reality to reflect the signal you are now consistently sending.